You take long for answer, sir. Anyhow, Cher, it's so sad that Paul drop out like that and so young. You know, if him did have the family indemnity plan from Kuna Caribbean Insurance, and if him did take out one of the new higher plan them, me hear say them have 4 new plan, and all of them are over $1 million, no me sis. Cause burial not cheap, but if 9 night a keep. Boy, me really hope him did have it, cause him never did have to do no medical for sign up. Me I go tell you a secret. Me I go take out one, and the $2 million one me want. Higher plan type now miss me. Request a quote at CunaCaribbean.com or visit your credit union or F.I.P provider to sign up today. Conditions apply.
All right, welcome to our friends joining us on YouTube and on Instagram. Welcome to another Lasso's Employees and Corp. Stop that. Welcome to another Lasso's Employees and Partners Cooperative Credit Union FIP webinar, where we have a little chat, a little conversation about the Family Indemnity Plan. I'm your host, Ryan Dixon, a member of Lasso's Employees and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, and also someone who wants to share with you some very valid information about the FIP. And of course, I am going to be joined by two very lovely ladies who are members of Kuna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica Limited. Make sure I get it right.
That's correct.
We have with us Miss Sarnia Lewis Raymond.
Hi.
And of course, coming back to join us, as you would have remembered from our last webinar, Nicole Bruce. How
Hello,
are you ladies doing?
everyone. I'm good. I'm
Good to see
good.
you.
Good to be here.
Awesome. Of course, this is the Christmas edition, all right? The festive season where we celebrate the birth of Christ. It's a time to reflect on the year that has passed, the blessing we have received, friendship and fellowship. And of course, we are definitely having a nice conversation today. Now, before we get into the conversation, we have a giveaway. We are going to give away a FIP plan. Yes, uh, Plan A, FIP Plan A, to the first 4 persons who have joined us online. All right. So at the end of the recording, you will hear if you are a lucky winner. All right. So tell a friend to join us right now. Tune in on our YouTube channel and also on Instagram for them to learn about the Family Indemnity Plan. And of course, at this time of the year, it's a time where we get our bonuses. We have our money coming from overseas by Western Union or other means of remittance. There's a salary bonus that we're getting. Um, and look, a side hustle that we were doing, the little partner that we were a part of is now maturing.
Yes.
And what we don't want you to do is to spend it all away in the merriment and festivity of the season. And then come January, it's all gone. I
Correct.
want you to put some away for something very useful, very important, and something that will benefit you even greater than what you're putting away for this. All right. So you definitely want to sit around and stick around for this conversation. And we're going to be starting off the questions with the family critical illness plan, right? I'm going to ask you, Sarnia, to elaborate on that. Speak to our listeners and our viewers about the family critical illness plan and what it covers.
All right. So good day, everyone. Our Family Critical Illness Plan, or dubbed FCIP, as persons know it out there, it's an insurance plan to protect you, the persons watching, persons who want to take it out, and of course, to add up to 5 additional family members on that plan. So we're not just catering for you, but we're catering for your family as well. So that's 6 persons that can be added on this FCIP plan. The plan is there to protect you in the event, a serious illness strikes. So if you're diagnosed with something, then you're covered for that situation, that unexpected situation.
Okay.
And then, of course, I want to go into what is covered on the plan, the covered illnesses. And they're covered for cancer, of course, one of the main ones that's going around now.
See?
Yes, man. And heart attack, that's another big H.
Listen,
Listen.
I don't, just to cut you a little bit, but
Yes.
recently we would have had some scares of two prominent pastors
Oh, yes.
overseas.
Yes. Yes.
Pastor Marvin Winans had a
Mm-hmm.
little
And
scare,
TD.
and of course, even more popular, TD Jakes.
Yes.
And this happened at the
Live. Yes.
live
Yes.
on national TV and on
On
radio or on air. So these things happen unexpectedly.
and
And I'm
that
sure
is
many of us may also know a family member or friend who would have suffered from a heart attack.
exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And that is what we want the persons to be aware of and to take into consideration as you plan ahead for 2025.
Yes.
And of course, we're not leaving out stroke. Stroke is right up there. And so you're covered for that as well. Stroke, and we have paralysis, major burn, and coma. So we want them to come along and visit the credit union, visit Lascelles, and take out that FCIP plan.
Love that. Love that. And the FCIP, for clarity, falls under the FIP.
No, that's
It's
a
a
total
separate,
separate
but a similar
right.
product.
Similar in some retrospect, yes.
Right.
Yes, because you can cover up to 6 persons just as
Right.
the family
That's what I
plan.
wanted
Right.
to
So
clarify.
similar to the family indemnity plan, you can take it out and cover up to 5 additional family members as
Okay.
well.
So one covers death, one covers
One is it's a living plan then
right,
basically.
one that's
So basically that is what it does. So this is living in terms of a critical illness, a
right.
serious illness strike. There are going to be unexpected medical bills and things that you want. You don't want to go into those savings that you have
Right.
and be left saying, oh my God, what am I going to do? So that's what it's
And would you
about.
say that's a reason why persons should incorporate the um the family critical illness plan into their long-term financial plans?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's something you need to consider, and it protects against unexpected costs. There are persons now who go into the hospital for illnesses they didn't know about, and when you come out, you see a large bill of $1 million, 2 million. It's going to be a surprise then, and
Right.
you don't want that. You don't want to be hit with that. And when you look at things, stroke this year alone, the Observer, sorry, in July there was an article that spoke about stroke being the leading cause in Jamaica of death. So things like that you want to take into consideration.
Okay.
And if I may add,
Yes, please.
also with the family indemnity plan, it covers death. We
Right.
cover the primary person, we cover the spouse, we cover the parents, and we cover the children unmarried under 26.
Right.
And we cover death up to 2 million of each for each person.
Right.
Right? The FIP also has a living benefit of the critical illness rider. So you can have an FIP that covers death, and the primary person on the FIP can also be covered for critical illnesses. And on the rider, we cover cancer, heart attack, stroke, major burns, paralysis. So we cover the big ticket items, right? So long and short of it, once you have a credit union account or you're a credit union member, you actually have access to a portfolio of benefits. Thereby, you can access the FIP for not only yourself, but your family members, and each person can be covered up to $2 million. So you can have an active policy of 12 million, right, for your family. And then the primary person now can be covered for up to $1 million in critical living benefit coverage. And they can also take out a family critical illness plan that covers the same set of persons on the family, or if you have a different family, you can cover a different set of family on the family critical illness plan, and also be covered for critical illness up to $3 million. So it is important for our members to know that they can, for critical illness, which is really what we're trying to reiterate this afternoon, one member can actually be covered for $4 million. So you can be covered twice for cancer, twice for heart attack, twice for stroke, and twice for paralysis. And we know that paralysis is a broad critical illness that covers, it really and truly is a critical illness that is a result of several different circumstances.
That's
And what is fundamental about all these critical illnesses that Sarnia was actually pointing out is that the expense that comes with it
unexpectedly.
is really significant.
Timely.
And we also have to look at the prevalence of it that Sarnia also spoke to in terms of the statistics that, we're seeing, especially last year into this year, with critical illnesses and the prevalence of illness cancers that we've never even heard of, becoming normal in our environment. So we want to ensure that members are aware that they can actually protect themselves from death and critical illness, which seem to be very sure eventualities in our lifetime.
Yes, it sure is. And I like that you pointed out and highlighted the type of the persons who can be covered. What are the age limits though, Sarnia? How old can a person be to be on it? Starting age and the end, what's the age range?
All right. So typically we go from, for the FCIP that is, we
Yes,
go from
FCIP.
18 to 59. However, children will start from age 1 and they will expire, terminate up to age 26. When they terminate though, there is, because it's a living benefit, if it is that you did not claim on this plan, there is a benefit that you will get 50% back, come back to you of what you have actually contributed to the plan. So
Okay,
that is there as well.
lovely.
Yes.
I like that. All right. So let's recap what you've shared so far. The FCIP is a living benefit,
Right. That's
right? That
correct.
covers you in critical illnesses.
Correct.
It carries how much coverage?
It has, well, it covers up to 6 critical illnesses,
Mhm.
and you can get coverage access up to $3 million
Up to $3 million. So you see
per
per person.
person. That's
So you see the
correct.
financial gain, not
So that's
the
6
gain,
times 3.
the financial coverage that you stand to benefit from FCIP,
Mhm.
and you say it covers ages
Well, for children,
for
it
children,
starts from age 1 up
age
to
1
26.
until
It expires
26,
at 26,
right?
and it ends at 59. 18 to 59 can sign up for the plan.
So you can sign up for your own plan from the age of 18
Right,
and
because you're not.
up to age 59.
59, correct.
I like that. I like that. So here's what now. I want to give away a prize of $500 credit, phone credit that is, to the first viewer who can send us a WhatsApp with the correct answer or answers to 876-542-6624. And the questions are: what is the maximum coverage amount for the critical illness plan? And I want you to state 3 critical illnesses that are covered under the plan. Again, send your answers to 876-542-6624. All right. So I want us to look at some more of the coverage and aspects of the FCIP. So let's start with this one now. I want you to tell our viewers about the 4 plans that are offered under the Family Critical Illness Plan.
Okay, so with the family critical illness plan, it's a little different than what we're used to with the
The FIP.
FIP, where you have the 80,000 and the 1 million.
Mhm.
With the family critical illness plan, each person can be covered up to $3 million, right? You can start with coverages or a coverage option as low as $500,000. You can go up to 1.5, $1 million, 1.5, 2.5, up to $3 million.
Right.
So there are several options from which a member can choose to be covered. But what is important to note with the Family Critical Illness Plan, it is designed in such a way that a member can literally determine how much they want to spend, and we can configure the coverage for both themselves and their family. So, for example,
Oh,
I have a family critical illness plan. I can be covered for $1 million. I can cover my husband for $500,000, and I can cover my daughter for $500,000. Because when I look at my budget, I can probably only afford disposable about $10,000 to afford or to allocate to critical illness coverage. And in that way, you can come to the credit union and say, I want some coverage for myself and my family. And we can sit, or the credit union will sit, representative will sit with you and configure a portfolio of coverage for yourself and your family.
so it's not set in stone that you have to come with this amount so you can get that
Right,
amount.
right,
We can work between that
right.
based on what your budget is.
Exactly.
I like that.
And you can add your coverage. You can go up, because if this year you can only afford to spend $10,000,
Right.
and next year, circumstances change and luck starts smile upon your way, you can afford now $50,000. You can now up your coverage all the way up to the 3 million, and up your coverage for your spouse and your family as well for $3 million. Similarly, if your circumstances change, it is such a dynamic product. And I think this is where, our extra value added is noted in terms of the ability to downgrade. So we do recognize that Jamaican
I don't like the word downgrade. I prefer the word downsize.
downsize, right? And that is a reflection of what is happening in our economy now,
Yes.
in terms of, things are tight. So we can accommodate you when your circumstances change for the better, but we can also accommodate you if your circumstances change. I won't say for the worse, but not so favorable,
Yes.
right? At the moment. So again, what is important to note is that each person can be covered for a maximum of $3 million. And you can configure your coverage options or design your coverage options based on your affordability. The only thing is that you can't cover your spouse for more than what you are covered for.
Got you.
So I can't cover my spouse for 3 million, and I am at
That
1
would be
million.
very questionable.
Very, very questionable. Like red flag, right?
Red flag.
Right. So we do facilitate that kind of flexibility as it relates to the family critical illness plan.
All right. So Nicole, here's another question now.
Sure.
So we sign up for the FCIP,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I sign up today
Mm-hmm.
or in the month of December, how soon does it take the coverage take effect?
All right. So for most of our plans, we have a 6 months waiting period,
Right.
right? So if an event happens or a claim happens within the 6 months, our company does reserve the right to contest that claim. After the 6 months, then it's
Uncontestable.
somewhat automatic. As it relates to the effective date, our policies normally take effect the first day of the following month. So if I sign up my FCIP this month in December, my 6 months start the 1st of January 2025.
Ah, got you. Got
Yes.
you. And then part two to that same question.
Yes.
So we reach 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to worry about the question of how questionable it is and if it can be contested or whatever, right? So I'll be eligible
You'd be
for
eligible
a
for a
claim
claim.
after 6 months.
Right.
So then I present my findings that
Right.
I have one of these critical illnesses.
Right.
How soon after I've now submitted a claim
Mm-hmm.
will I get that payout?
All right. So once you or the member submits all the relevant documents, we do require the claim form to be signed. We require the medical certificates. We do also require the ID and the proof of address of the claimant, the primary person. And in the event of the family members, we do require their information as well. That be
Okay.
medical certificate, the proof of address, the ID. Now, once all those documents are submitted, and you would submit them, of course, to your trusted credit union, it takes 30 days at least for us to pay the equivalent or deliberate the claim and pay the claim to the credit union.
So in essence, it's a little dependent on how soon I submit
The
all the
requisite
relevant
documents. That is correct.
documents that you can then verify
Yes.
and then proceed to pay out.
Yes.
So you can't say that is a set 3 days turnaround or 5 days turnaround.
No.
It's really dependent on
Right. And living benefit, it does take a little bit more deliberation than F.I.P. that is just automatic. So our turnaround time for the critical illness is 30 days as opposed to the F.I.P. that, everybody's used to at least 48 hours or 1 week.
right. Gotcha. Because you have to do your
Longest.
checks and balances and
Absolutely.
verification processes and so on.
Yes.
All right. Now we've mentioned earlier in the conversation 6 critical illnesses, right? There's cancer, heart attack, stroke, paralysis, major burns, and coma.
Yes.
Are there any exclusions that are not covered under the plan? What I mean by that is, if an individual is diagnosed with a critical illness, what are the instances that would not offer the benefit? Where the beneficiary would not receive a payout? What would be those extenuating circumstances?
Okay. All right, so that is a very good question. And it's a question that we as advisors and credit union representatives would not be able to answer right off the bat. And I can explain to you why.
Okay.
Now, with our family critical illness plan, the only exclusion that we have initially is it's a first diagnosis, right? So if it is that you have cancer or you've been diagnosed with cancer, that does not exclude you or prohibits you from signing up for one of our critical illness plans, right? Industry wise, you may get rejected and you may get rated. With us, what will happen is we will possibly cover you, but you will not be provided critical illness coverage for cancer.
Because you came with
Right. There are some health questionnaires on the application form that determines your insurability. And because of the health questionnaires, what is deliberated or what is revealed in those health questionnaires will determine your coverage amount or your coverage approval. And subsequently, if it is that you answered something in the on the health questionnaire that now alludes to your diagnosis that happened 7 months or a year within you applying for the critical illness, then that would have provided motivation for you to take out the critical illness. And in those instances, we can deny. But I say so with heavy caution because none of us can make that deliberation. We have a team in-house that once a claim is presented, there is careful deliberation based on what was stated on the application form and what is stated in the medical report, and then a determination is made from there. What I can say holistically and comprehensively is that we are not as draconian as other insurance companies in our underwriting process. So we don't go out looking for meticulously for every little thing to deny, right? So, to answer your question in terms of exclusion, we can't speak very generally and definitively to that because that is determined by case by case in terms of
because I mean
deliberation.
imagining a scenario where an individual, a member,
Mm-hmm.
signs up for a critical illness,
Mm-hmm.
answered honestly, sincerely, the questions that were provided. But then a year later,
Mm-hmm.
or within a year later, after the 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
there are no symptoms of a critical illness that is now being manifested
Mm-hmm.
that one now has to pay attention to. And when they go and check it out, perhaps they are diagnosed with a critical illness.
Mm-hmm.
I could imagine that being a circumstance that one could, because then let me add this, like for cancer, it comes in stages. So I could imagine someone signing up,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing that they have, but
Mm-hmm.
by the time they find out they have, after 6 months has lapsed,
Mm-hmm.
find out that they're actually at an advanced stage.
Mm-hmm.
So that could beg a question,
Absolutely.
you
And
know,
that is the
you mean say skip past stage 1, 2, and 3?
right.
I never know. You know what I mean?
That
Because it could be perceived. Sorry for cutting you, Nicole.
right.
But it could be perceived that, you perhaps had some inclination that you had it previously, because this is not stage 1, this is not stage 2, you're all the way up to stage 3.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Perception is not deemed material. What is deemed material is knowing to
mm,
the extent that it motivates you. So, in a case where, and that is the exact reason why you would take out a critical illness plan, because I've met at least 3 persons this year that were diagnosed and they were diagnosed at stage 3. No idea. Right. And once you complete those critical illness questions, honestly, when you go to a doctor is going to put onset, date of onset, that there are things that are revealed in that report that speaks heavily to when you would have known.
right.
So, again, what we need to be very clear on is that we comprehensively want to cover persons
Mm-hmm.
to provide that additional support. So the most we can say is answer the questions honestly, and right off the bat, if you have a diagnosed critical illness, it still does not exclude you from accessing our rider or our plan. Once you state it, we do cover you for everything else but the critical illness that you
That
would
you
have stated.
got
Yes.
you. I love that. All right, Sarnia, you mind giving our viewers a recap of the FCIP, the how do you sign up? How many persons can sign up? What is covered? How much is covered? And any limitations. And I love the fact, as you would have said, Nicole, you can be covered twice, um, via a FIP and through the FCIP. All right. So there's so much for you to benefit from having your critical illness coverage. But go ahead, Sarnia.
All right, so to recap, the FCIP is something that you need to take out to plan for 2025. We have seen that a lot of persons are being diagnosed with the illnesses that is covered,
Mm-hmm.
and the illnesses that are covered are heart attack, stroke, cancer, paralysis, major burn, and coma. Persons can sign up from between the age of 18 to 59, and of course, children, if you're signing up your children from age 1 up to 26. How many persons can sign up? You can cover yourself and up to 5 additional family members.
You plus 5.
Right.
That's 6.
So I've said quite a mouthful so far. The persons that can cover within the family, of course, we didn't mention the details of that, so I'll go into that. So if I'm taking it out, my spouse can be covered. And when we say spouse here in Jamaica, we know it's common law as well is included.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that. The children can be covered as well, so that you can have 1 or 2, depending on that.
Right.
And then we'll cover the parent or parent-in-law. And when we say that, it's slightly different with the FCIP than the FIP, because you would cover one of each, a combination, or both of yours. So I could cover my mom and dad, or I can cover your mom and dad, or a
Okay.
combination of one of each.
Right.
So 2 may be covered. So that determines the 6 there. What else do I need to mention? That
It goes. You can get coverage of up to $3
up to three
million
access up to $3 million.
each
Yes,
for
each.
each person
So
on
that's
the
6
plan.
times 3. That is correct. And something that Nicole would have mentioned, but is key, is that it's important to look at the accessibility that you have, because you still have access to the F.I.P, so you can be covered twice, which has a critical illness aspect to it, which is the rider for the policyholder. So that person will be covered twice for cancer, twice for heart attack, twice for stroke. And of course, you want as much coverage as you can, because I don't want to spend my own money. I'll reiterate that. We don't want to be going in our own pockets and a little part that you're putting aside. So you want to ensure that you cover as much as you can. And I will remind you, this year we have seen a lot of deaths for
Yes,
2024.
we
And
have.
most of that is not just accidental deaths, it is from serious critical illnesses.
Yes.
I
And we've seen some
mentioned
critical illness scares locally and
exactly,
abroad. So we
exactly,
really have to,
exactly.
be mindful of that.
So I'll ask Nicole to top it off with any other additional that I may
Yes,
not have
Nicole.
said.
Well, Zarnia, I think you said it all. The only thing I will punctuate in saying or encouraging our members to take full or full, take full opportunity or use the opportunity, use the credit union, because we at Kuna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica Limited, we work very closely with the credit union to ensure that we provide very simple insurance products, very accessible, very transparent, and most importantly, very affordable
Yes,
coverage
absolutely.
options. So it would be that we have a popular saying in the office. They know I say it every day. It would be nuts crazy for you to have access to that kind of coverage in an environment where we see the prevalence of cancer and we know how expensive it is to rectify it when you are diagnosed and not take full advantage of the opportunity that is awarded to you at the credit
Yes,
union in terms of access.
absolutely. All right. And there's one more thing I want to add. For you to benefit from a FCIP or a FIP, you have to be a member of a credit union. LaSalle's Employees and Partners Cooperative Credit Union. And signing up is very easy. If you're not already a member, you just need to walk with a valid identification, your TRN, proof of address, and a minimum of $3,600 to start you off. And right away, no limitation, no restriction, you can sign up for your FIP and your FCIP. Just know there is a 6 months waiting period for the
Correct,
FCIP,
correct.
and the same thing
Same for the
for the
FPIP.
FIP. All right. But listen, for this Christmas season, let's not be penny wise and pound foolish. Come sign up, become a member of the credit union, and sign up for your FCIP and your FIP today. All right. All right. So here are our first four persons to sign on and will be winning for themselves a FIP Plan A. All right. Are you ready? So I have here Shauna K. Smith, Yanni Diva, Dwyer Karima, and Kiss Me Cute Face.
Oh, wow.
All right, so we're gonna reach out to you online and tell you how you can claim your prize. Ladies, I want to thank you so much for stopping by, for sharing such valid information with our members. I know persons that are tuning in are going to be signing on for their FCIP and their FIP, and definitely make sure that we are fully covered. I also have the name for the winner of the $500 Digicel. Oh, so we have to add one more person. All right, so Shauna and Kiss Me Cute Face. So Shauna is a Kiss Me Cute Face. All right, so let me get one more name then. So Karen Smith was the first person, and Karen also answered the questions correct. So Karen, you walking away with two prizes this evening. Congratulations to Karen Smith. You have won yourself credit. See that legit? Call me. Um, But yes, you have won yourself $500 credit. So thank you so much. I want to say thanks to our support team, Miss Diana Allen, our marketing manager, and of course, Mr. Vaughn Campbell, um, our social media specialist, who has also been our technical and Wi-Fi technician and timekeeper. And this prize is for
All right, so we'll add another prize into the basket
what you say?
for the person who answers the question. I think you had a question for the critical illnesses that we offered. Did somebody answer that question? So we can give the prize to the person that answers
All right, I
that
have another
question.
question because
All
we
right.
did ask that question already.
Okay.
How long after you submit your claim for a critical illness will it be paid out under the FCIP
Oh,
plan?
that's a good one.
How long after you have submitted your claim for for a critical illness under the FCIP plan will it be paid out? Numbers to call. Where it is again, the WhatsApp, send your WhatsApp, send your answers to our WhatsApp line, 876-542-6624. All right. On the first day of Christmas, my true love said to me, make sure you have a FCI.
Hey,
My name is
I
Ryan
like it.
Leveneer Dixon. It has been another wonderful time talking with you, lovely ladies.
Indeed,
Miss
indeed.
Sarnia Lewis Raymond and
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Sarnia Lewis
All
Raymond
right.
and Nicole Bruce from Kuna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica Limited. Again, send your answer to 876-542-6624. Thank you for joining us. This has been another LaSalle's Employees and Partners Cooperative Credit Union FIP/FCIP webinar. Tune in next time for another conversation. Wonderful.